In a very big city in Nigeria called Lagos, there was a huge, beautiful house. It was a mansion with white walls and a tall green fence. This house belonged to a man named Richard and his wife, Jane. Richard was a billionaire. This means he had more money than anyone could count. He owned many big companies and was very important. His wife, Jane, was a kind and gentle woman. She did not have a job because Richard had so much money. She spent her days taking care of their beautiful home and helping poor people. Jane and Richard seemed to have a perfect life. They had big, fast cars. They wore expensive clothes. They went to fancy parties. Everyone who saw them thought they were the happiest couple. Jane loved Richard with all her heart. She believed he loved her just as much. Their home was filled with nice things and, Jane thought, with love. One day, Jane decided they needed more help to clean the big house. She wanted to hire a new maid. Many young women came to ask for the job. One of them was named Rita. Rita was young and very beautiful. She looked shy and poor. Her clothes were old and had small holes. She spoke in a very soft, quiet voice. She told Jane a sad story. She said she had no mother or father. She said she had no money for school. She said she needed the job to feed her little brothers and sisters. Jane's heart felt soft and sorry for Rita. She decided to give her the job immediately. Jane was a very kind woman. She did not just give Rita a job. She gave her nice dresses she no longer wore. She made sure Rita ate good food. She treated Rita more like a little sister than a maid. At first, everything was fine. Rita worked hard. She cleaned the house until it sparkled. But after some time, Jane noticed a small change. Her husband, Richard, started to come home from work earlier. Before, he was always very busy and came home late. Now, he often came home in the afternoon. Jane was happy at first. She thought he wanted to spend more time with her. But she soon saw that Richard was not coming home to see her. He would come home and sit in the living room. Rita would be there, cleaning. Jane would hear them talking and laughing. Richard would say, "Rita, you have done a good job cleaning this room." Or, "Rita, you are a very hard worker." Jane felt a small, worried feeling in her stomach. But she told herself, "Do not be silly. Richard loves you. Rita is just a poor girl you are helping." She chose to trust her husband and the maid she had been so kind to. Rita was not the shy, innocent girl she pretended to be. She had a secret plan. She saw all the money and nice things in the big house, and she wanted them for herself. She decided to make Richard fall in love with her. She started to wear the nice dresses Jane gave her, but she would make them a little tighter. She would always be in the same room as Richard. When he talked about his boring business meetings, she would look at him with wide, interested eyes and say, "Wow, you are so smart, sir." She would tell him more sad stories about her life, and he would feel like a strong hero who could protect her. Slowly, Richard started to see Rita as a poor, beautiful girl who needed saving. He started to see his wife, Jane, as just his wife. He forgot about her kindness. One evening, Jane was looking for Richard. She walked towards his home office. The door was not closed all the way. She pushed it open slightly. What she saw made her heart stop. Richard was standing very close to Rita. He was holding her hand. They were whispering and smiling. Jane gasped loudly. Richard and Rita quickly moved apart. "Jane, it is not what you think," Richard said, his face turning red. "What is going on here?" Jane asked, her voice shaking. Rita immediately started to cry. "Oh, Madam Jane. Please. He was just showing me a paper cut on my hand. He was being kind. Please don't send me away. I need this job, she cried. Richard became angry. Yes, Jane. Look what you have done. You have scared this poor girl. Why are you so jealous? Can I not be kind to the help? He shouted at Jane. Jane was confused and hurt. She wanted to believe them. She said sorry and left the room, feeling very bad. After that day, everything changed. Richard was completely charmed by Rita's tears and sweet words. He started to buy her expensive gifts. He gave her a shiny gold necklace. He gave her a new phone. He started to behave coldly towards Jane. At dinner, he would not eat the delicious food Jane cooked. He would say, "Rita made me a special soup. I will eat that." He spent all his time with Rita. He stopped talking to Jane. The big, beautiful house, which was once filled with love, was now filled with a cold and tense silence. Jane's heart was breaking into tiny pieces. One sunny afternoon, Richard came to Jane in the living room. His face was serious. "Jane, we need to talk," he said. "I am not happy in this marriage anymore. I have found someone who truly understands me." Jane's eyes filled with tears. "Who, Richard? Who understands you?" "It is Rita," Richard said, without feeling sorry. "She is young and innocent. She appreciates the small things I do. She needs me. You are too independent. I love her now. I want a divorce." Jane felt like the world had ended. She fell to her knees and cried. But Richard just walked away. He had given his heart to the maid. The very next day, Richard told Jane to pack her things and leave. It was her home, but he was throwing her out. He said the house was in his name, so she had no right to stay. As Jane was packing her clothes, Rita walked into the room. She was no longer crying. She was no longer shy. She had a big, mean smile on her face. "Thank you for everything, madam," Rita said, her voice now loud and proud. "Thank you for the job. And thank you for your husband." She was wearing Jane's favorite diamond earrings. You planned this all along," Jane whispered. Rita laughed. "Of course I did. You were too stupid to see it. Now, get out of my room." She pointed to the door. Jane left her own home with a broken heart and a single suitcase. Rita moved from the small maid's room into the big master bedroom with Richard. Jane moved into a small, simple apartment. For many weeks, she was very sad. She cried all day and all night. She could not eat. She could not sleep. She thought about how kind she had been to Rita, and how Richard had thrown her away like old rubbish. But then, one morning, she looked at herself in the mirror. Her eyes were red from crying. She saw how weak she looked. And something inside her changed. The sadness did not go away, but it turned into something else. It turned into a cold, hard, quiet anger. She wiped her tears and said to herself, "I will not cry anymore. They think I am weak. They think I am defeated. But I will show them. I will get my revenge." Jane was smart. She knew that screaming and fighting would not help her. Richard had all the money and power. She needed to be clever. She remembered how Rita had used a secret plan. Jane decided she would also have a secret plan. Her revenge would be sweet and secret. She started to act like she had moved on. She used the small amount of money she had to start a tiny business selling homemade chin-chin. She got a new, beautiful hairstyle. She started to post happy pictures on social media. She looked like a woman who was free and happy without her husband. When Richard and Rita saw her pictures, they were surprised. They thought she would be crying forever. They became curious. Why was she so happy? After 1 month, Jane sent Richard a text message. It was a very sweet message. She wrote, "My dear Richard, I have thought about it, and I have accepted everything. I want us to sign the divorce papers and be free. I hold no anger in my heart. To show I mean it, I invite you and Rita to my new home for a quiet dinner. Let us end this in a peaceful way." Richard showed the message to Rita. Rita laughed. "She has given up. Let us go and see her poor little house. We can laugh at her," Rita said. Richard, feeling a little guilty, agreed. He thought Jane was being mature. He did not know it was a trap. Jane prepared for the dinner. She cleaned her small apartment until it shone. She cooked a simple but delicious meal of jollof rice and chicken. She put on a simple but nice dress. She looked calm and kind. She was ready for her performance. Richard and Rita arrived in their big, expensive car. They walked into Jane's small apartment, looking around as if they were in a dirty market. Rita was wearing a very expensive new dress and lots of jewelry. "Welcome to my humble home," Jane said with a sweet smile. "Please, sit down and eat with me." During the dinner, Jane was incredibly kind. She served them food and drinks. She did not look sad or angry. "Rita, this chicken is so soft. You are a better cook than I am," Rita said, trying to mock Jane. Jane just smiled. "Thank you, Rita. I am happy you like it. I am so glad you are taking such good care of Richard. He looks happy." Richard was confused. He expected Jane to be bitter, but she was being nice. He started to feel even more guilty. Rita was also confused, but she was too proud to see the danger. After they finished eating, Jane brought out a small, beautiful chocolate cake. "I made a special dessert for this special night," Jane said. "To celebrate our new beginnings." They all ate a piece of the cake. It was delicious. Then, Jane put down her fork. Her sweet smile faded, and a calm, strong look came onto her face. "The cake is good, yes?" Jane said. "But now, it is time for the real show. You both thought I was a fool. But the fool was you, Richard." Richard stared at her. "What are you talking about, Jane?" "I never signed the final divorce papers," Jane said calmly. "So, legally, we are still married." Rita snorted. "So what? He still wants me, not you. Does he?" Jane asked. She took out her phone. "Let me play a little sound for you." She pressed a button on her phone. A voice came out of the speaker. It was Rita's voice, but it was loud and nasty, not soft and sweet. "That old, stupid billionaire thinks I love him. It is so funny. As soon as he gives me half of his money in the divorce, I will take it and run away with my real boyfriend, Tony. We will be rich and happy. Richard is so boring and old." The recording went on and on. Rita was laughing about how she had tricked Richard. Richard's face turned white. Then it turned red with rage. He looked at Rita. You used me," he whispered. Rita was shaking. "It is a lie. She made that recording." But Jane smiled. "How could I make a recording of you talking to your boyfriend in your room? I have been gone for months. This recording is from last week. You see, Richard, when I was kind to her, I gave her an old phone. But I am smart with technology. I connected that phone to my cloud account. So, every conversation she had near that phone, I could hear. I have many recordings like this. Richard stood up. His whole body was shaking with anger. He felt like the biggest fool in the world. He had left his kind, beautiful, and smart wife for a greedy, lying girl. "You cheater," he roared at Rita. "You wanted to steal from me." Rita started to cry real tears now. "No, Richard. I love you. She is tricking you." But it was too late, the truth was out. Richard saw the real Rita for the first time. The luxurious life she had dreamed of shattered into pieces right in front of her. Richard dragged Rita out of Jane's apartment. He threw her out of his car on the way home. He told her to never come back. She was left with nothing. No money, no house, no rich boyfriend. Richard was humiliated. He came back to Jane, begging for forgiveness. "Jane, my love, I am so sorry. I was a blind fool. Please, take me back," he cried. But Jane was no longer the weak woman he had left. She looked at him with calm eyes. "No, Richard," she said. "You showed me who you are. You chose a lie over my years of love. I forgive you for my own peace, but I will never take you back. Now, let us sign the real divorce papers. And because I have proof of your foolishness and her plan to steal your money, my lawyer will make sure I get a very fair share. Goodbye, Richard." Jane got a divorce from Richard. The court gave her a lot of money and some of his properties because he had been unfaithful and had thrown her out. She was now a very rich and independent woman. Jane lived a truly happy and peaceful life after that. She grew her small chin-chin business into a big, successful company. She never married again. She found joy in helping other people, especially women who had been treated badly. She learned a very important lesson: true strength is not about screaming and fighting. It is about being smart, patient, and using your mind to win a battle. She also learned that not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Some people hide sharp teeth behind their sweet smiles. It is important to be kind, but it is also important to be wise. Did you enjoy this exciting story of how Jane used her brain to get a sweet revenge? Were you happy when the greedy maid Rita got what she deserved? If you loved this story, please let us know by pressing the like button. If you know someone who would love a story like this, please share it with them. Subscribe for more amazing stories like this one. Thank you for watching.